Through the ever-present fog of war, you might have missed a few things. Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 small details you missed in the 100. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at subtle details in the TV show The 100 that you might not have caught at first glance. Since this list is based around hidden details, a spoiler alert is in effect. Number 10. Lincoln's Drawings. The 100 have come across many allies and villains, learning much about what actually ended the world the first time. But did you notice many of these later storylines were hinted at early on? Doodles of Octavia were not the only thing that Lincoln had in his notebook.
These aren't bad.
When Bellamy flips through Lincoln's journal after capturing him, we see a drawing of the Lincoln Memorial, a place in Lincoln's village, and perhaps where he got his name. Later, Octavia sees drawings of Reapers and the Mountain Men, who become arguably the 100's worst villains. Also, Lincoln's cave has a drawing of a mushroom cloud depicting the atomic explosion that caused the first apocalypse. Number 9. Maya's MP3 Player. Maya is arguably one of the show's greatest secondary characters, and one of the show's most tragic deaths. She helped the 100 fight against Mount Weather, and her death sent Jasper down a dark path. But Maya isn't only remembered through Jasper's depression. Before she died, Maya showered Jasper with art and culture, and he kept her MP3 player. In a Season 3 episode, Jasper plays her MP3 player in the rover, and he inspires the whole gang to join in on a fun road trip sing-along. Later in Season 5, Clarke finds the MP3 player among Jasper's things after his death.
I came to Arcadia looking for food or water, but all I found were ghosts.
Number 8. The Ark Stations. If you watched the Unity Day episode, then you know the history of how the Ark came to be, or at least the version that has been passed down through the generations.
Long ago, when the Earth was on fire, 12 stations floated through space, all alone. Then one day, Mir floated by Shinzen, and they realized life would be better together.
In the opening sequence of the show, we hear Clarke's voiceover telling us a brief history of the apocalypse and the Ark.
12 nations had operational space stations at the time of the bombs. There is now only the Ark, one station forged from the many.
But you might have missed that as we see the different stations rotating through space, you can actually see the flags of the 12 countries that make up the Ark. Exactly what countries had space stations at the time of the apocalypse might not be super important to the overall story, but it is a pretty cool detail. Number 7. Mount Weather is mentioned in the first episode. So much happens in Season 1 that it would be easy to forget that Mount Weather, which would become so central in Season 2, was mentioned in the very first episode. As the dropship is heading down to Earth, Chancellor Jaha tells the 100 that they should search the bunker for food and supplies.
Before the last war, Mount Weather was a military base built within a mountain. It was to be stocked with enough non-perishables to sustain 300 people.
Little did the 100 know that Mount Weather was still occupied. The 100 were meant to land on Mount Weather, and they were searching for it when they were first attacked by the Grounders. Jasper was even holding a Mount Weather sign when he was speared through the chest.
Mount Weather!
Number 6. Octavia's war paint is the same as Lincoln's. One of this show's most compelling character arcs is that of Octavia Blake. We get to see her grow from the girl under the floor into a deadly warrior. But long before she became the Red Queen, or Skyripa, she earned her battle scars fighting as Indra's second. But even though she's Indra's second, it's Lincoln's war paint that she wears during the war with the Mountain Men. During the planning stages of the battle, Lincoln can be seen with a sort of diamond shape painted around his eyes, and during the march on the bunker, Octavia is seen wearing the same paint. Just a small detail bonding these two forbidden lovers even stronger. Number 5. The Eligius Ship. The 100 usually ends each season with a little teaser of what's to come in the next. At the end of Season 4, we see the Eligius prisoner ship land on Earth, but there are a few mentions of it throughout Season 4. While Raven is researching the upcoming nuclear disaster, there's an article up on the screen mentioning a missing mining company ship, which, with what we learn later, is pretty safe to assume is referencing the Eligius 3 ship that lost communication. You might also have missed that during one of Raven's post-Alley seizures, Jackson tells Abby that Becca first invented Nightblood as a way to protect Eligius miners from solar radiation.
Becca first developed what we know as nightblood for the Eligius mining company.
Mining?
Long-duration space missions. Criminals were put into hypersleep.
Number 4. The names on Clarke's gun strap. By season 5, Clarke has lost too many people to count, but apparently she did. In the 6 years with her and Maddie alone on Earth, Clarke probably didn't have a lot to do except tell Maddie stories, radio Bellamy, and trick out a rifle. But you might not have noticed that the rifle is much more special than it seems. Clarke scratched the names of everyone lost into the strap of her rifle. It's an easy detail to miss, but thankfully a prop builder from the show released a picture showing the names on the strap. Many of these names haven't been mentioned in quite a while, but Clarke never forgot them. Number 3. Washington, D.C. It's never explicitly said just where this show takes place. Hypothetically, the dropship could have landed anywhere in the world. After the first apocalypse left Earth a nuclear wasteland, borders between countries and even their names probably weren't so important anymore. The Grounders have their own names for cities, like Polis and Tun, DC. But Season 2 hints at what Tun, DC used to be. The first time we see Tun, DC, Clarke walks past a faded highway sign that reads Tun, DC, with the washing part unreadable. It only makes sense that a city of such great importance would be built from the remains of former Washington, DC. Number 2. Commander. Seasons 2 and 3 show us a deeper insight into Grounder politics and beliefs. The more we learn about the Grounders, the more we learn of the connection between them and the 100 through Becca Pramhedda. She was the first commander, she invented the AI that is the spirit of the commanders, and in flashbacks in Season 3, it's revealed that she was the reason the 13th station never made it to the Ark on Unity Day. As Becca comes back down to Earth, she steals a spacesuit and an escape pod. The patch on her stolen suit reads Commander, revealing the birth of Grounder politics. Number 1. The Passage of Time. The 100 begins 97 years after the apocalypse, but it's never stated aloud exactly what year everything takes place. But if you pay close attention, you can track the timeline. In the pilot episode, Jasper wears a t-shirt that says Earth Day 2052. While trying to find a way to get Abby to Earth, Raven comments that they are working on a 130-year-old pod and estimates it was found in 2102.
You want me to get a 130-year-old escape pod ready to stand up to the inferno of re-entry in 9 days.
When Murphy is trapped in Becca's bunker, he watches the video logs with the date time stamped in the corner. And in the Season 5 finale, you can see the years passing on Monty and Harper's videos to Clarke and Bellamy. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MsMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.